What's good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the overall market so far and what you should be watching for as time progresses, what's happening with California's EV sales data that just came out, and how all of these big factors are going to be affecting Tesla for tomorrow. But before I break anything down, all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. The offer ends in 2 weeks, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. Looking at the market is on fire. SPY is up 1.79%, beating 430. And that's pretty insane since we were at like 409 just a couple of days ago. So SPY is up more than 20 points over the last couple of days. Tesla is up 6.3% right now, still continuing to push. It's about to make a new high of the day, continuing to look very, very strong and resilient. NIO is up 5.5%. The IWM is up 2%. Apple's up almost 2%. The QQQ is up 1.8%. The market is continuing to rip to the upside, looking very, very strong. But the question is, will this continue for tomorrow? I know the daily candle is looking bullish, but the question is, will it continue this way? And it's not always a guarantee because it's going to depend on something very, very important. So the market's going to close in 1 hour, okay? When the market closes, we have something happening after close, and that's going to be Apple's earnings. Apple's going to be reporting their EPS and revenue and their guidance, all right? So we need Apple to do well with their earnings and also well for guidance. They have to beat on both of those things and do very well in order for this rally to continue. If Apple misses on any of those things, that could slow things down a little bit. Guidance is going to be even more impactful for the future. So if Apple ends up missing on their earnings, that could slow things down. If they miss on guidance as well, that could slow the market down and the market could have a red day tomorrow. It's a possibility if Apple sinks. Apple impacts Tesla. It's going to have an impact on SPY and the QQQ. It's going to impact essentially the entire stock market. So you're going to be watching this very carefully. If Apple ends up doing very well and they beat on earnings and they raise their guidance or something, for example, that is going to be very, very bullish, and Apple could continue to push, and this could help the market go even higher once again. So we're going to be watching Apple very carefully after the market closes. That's going to affect the market first and foremost. And then secondly, when the market opens tomorrow morning, before the market opens, excuse me, we have the unemployment data coming out. So 1 hour before open, we have the unemployment data coming out for October. If this is too low, this is going to be a little bearish for the markets because the Fed could be a little bit more inclined to being hawkish. And then if they end up meeting expectations, if it's a 3.8% unemployment rate for October, the market may like that. The market could continue to hold up. So we're going to be watching that very carefully 1 hour before the market opens. So we have some big data coming out, and we also have Apple's earnings all happening after the market closes today and before market open tomorrow. My warning for everyone is, do you really want to hold through this? If you want to, it's your choice. If you want to buy Apple calls, it's your choice. It could, pay out very nicely if you play it right. But I also want to warn you that earnings could be risky and sometimes you never know what's going to happen. So you just want to be very careful and you just want to be, managing risks during times like this. And that is not financial advice. When it comes to seasonality, the market has a tendency of pumping very nicely approaching November. It could even continue to pump for a few more trading days. But here's the thing. What happens later on is sometimes you tend to see like a little sideways price action for like the next week of November before we just continue to push up higher, or we could even decline just a little bit before we continue to push up. Either way, whether we get a small decline or not, or if the market just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing, it does not matter. We're going to remain bullish in a very nice uptrend for November, and I believe the market is going to uptrend to end of the year for November/December. Okay, we have two main dominoes for the next, couple of trading days. The first one was the Fed. The Fed has favored the bulls. We just need Apple to favor the bulls for us to continue to go higher. Otherwise, the market could slow down from here just a little bit. Okay. Even if the market slows down, it's going to be fine. The market's going to eventually recover and continue to push up, in my opinion. And I think there's more upside nonetheless. So we're going to be watching all this data very carefully. When it comes to news that came out, we have California EV sales topping 20%. The EV sales are continuing to go up, making a bigger sector of the entire market for vehicles in California. That's some good news for them. The good news is Tesla is dominating the California EV market. You can see that they sold over, or they have new registrations at over 106,000 for just the Model Y. And that's just for 2023 from the starts to right now. And that's pretty insane. Actually, I think that this is for like the first 9 months, actually, but still not bad whatsoever. Very, very good news as Tesla's continuing to dominate the entire industry. Tesla also got some good numbers looking at their sales climbing up about 38.5% year to date, which is more bullish news for Tesla. So this is good news for Tesla. This helped Tesla pump more. And also it's because of the market recovering, the things that Jerome Powell said, and some positive expectations because Tesla was very oversold. So what do I see for Tesla? Here's my answer, guys. Here's my answer, okay? I have one simple thing to say before I get into more meticulous details. The simple thing is, see this gap up here at 241 on the daily, 241 to 242, somewhere around there. I think Tesla's going to fill this gap over the next couple of weeks. I think Tesla's going to make its way back up to the mid 250s. I am leaning more bullish. I think there's more upside coming for Tesla. I'm a big bull on Tesla for the next couple of weeks. However, that does not mean that every day has to be green, green, green over and over again. I don't think it's going to happen that way. And considering how much we pumped in such a short period of time, seeing downside would not be out of the ordinary. So for that reason, okay, I'm not calling downside or upside. We look bullish on the daily chart right now. It looks like Tesla's going to go even higher into the 220s, but that is just one small factor. Technical analysis is just one factor right now. And the bigger factor is going to be Apple's earnings. So we'll just have to wait and see what Apple causes. So if Apple pumps Tesla even higher, I mean, we're still pumping right now. We're approaching some resistance at 219. We also have some tight resistance around the 220 area. We've seen Tesla reject off 220 many, many times. But if Apple causes the market to pump more, we could see Tesla break out and get very close to 225 plus and start pushing even higher. If Apple causes a rug pull, okay, we could see Tesla come back down towards this 212 area. So we're going to be watching this very carefully. Either way, if it drops a little bit, that's a buying opportunity because Tesla's going to eventually break out towards the 240s later on, probably this month, in my opinion, if not by early next month. And if it just keeps going, then that's good for the bulls. So either way, I still see upside eventually coming, but I don't know about tomorrow specifically. It's going to depend on Apple's earnings and the unemployment numbers. So if you want to hold overnight when it comes to your options and your day trading, that is your choice. I'm obviously going to be holding my long-term Tesla shares and just continuing to buy them as time goes on. I'm just referring to trades and options and swings. That is your choice. I just want to give you guys the warning, so make sure you're prepared for that just to be safe. For SPY, this is going to be very important. SPY, if this thing remains bullish, if it keeps pushing and pushing and pushing, we're approaching this key resistance on the daily time frame. So on the daily, we're just barely testing and trying to break above the 50 EMA on the daily time frame. This is acting as resistance. If we break and hold above this and keep it pushing up higher, and Apple helps the market pump higher, you're going to be watching 431 and then 432.5 for SPY. If we break down, you're going to be watching 430 as key support. If we lose that, watch 429.5. Then this support right here around 428.5. And if we lose that, watch 427.5 and 426.5. We could retrace to any of these levels depending on the extent to which Apple drops. And it's a little bit difficult to predict exactly how low we'll go, but it just depends on Apple. Apple could tank us or Apple could cause the market to continue to push. We will just have to wait and see. Now, Apple has been pumping and pumping and pumping hard, approaching its earnings. If Apple keeps going, you're going to be watching this 177.5 resistance. If you break this, watch for 178. If that breaks, there's not much resistance until we get close to about 180. There's some resistance at 179, but it's not as strong as 180. And then for support, you're going to be watching Apple test around 176.5 as critical supports. If you lose that, watch 175.5 and 175. From a technical standpoint, Apple looks bullish in my honest opinion. It's looking bullish. It looks like it wants to break out on the daily. It just got a bullish cross on the PPO on the daily. So it looks like it's going to start pushing for the 180s solely based off technical analysis. Okay. That is not sufficient, even though the odds do favor it wanting to push up higher. I can't promise anything, guys. I'm not going to call any upside or anything like that. It's all going to depend on their earnings for Thursday, which is today after the market close. For the QQQ, it's going to be heavily dictated by Apple. If Apple pumps this thing even higher, we could be watching for 366. If it causes this thing to drop, there's a gap down here to fill at 358. I don't know which way the QQQ is going to go. Either way, I mean, it's best to just be prepared for anything. And if you want to hold overnight, it's your choice. If not, if you don't want to take the risk, then it's also your choice. We will just have to wait and see. Nvidia is starting to show some life. It started breaking out a lot more over the last hour. If Nvidia keeps going, we have some tight resistance at 438. If that breaks, watch 440. And if we end up breaking down, it could come all the way down towards 430. If we lose that, watch 425 and 420. If we end up breaking 438 to 440, we could push all the way up to this previous support becoming resistance at 444. There is a potential target on Nvidia, but we want to be very careful just to be safe. Last but not least, when it comes to I think I went over almost everything. We went over the QQQ spies. Yeah, so we went over pretty much everything from here. So we're going to be watching these all very carefully. Lastly, the last thing I'm going to say is when it comes to seasonality supports an upside trend for November/December. So even if the market does pull back a little bit, it could still continue higher. But I would just be very careful at these high levels. The market is very overbought, and we'll just have to see if the market could go higher or not. It's all going to depend on Apple from this point. All right, guys, so that's your warning for now. We have a big catalyst coming for Tesla and the whole market. We will see if Apple ends up helping us push higher or not. If you want to hold overnight, it's your choice. If you want to just, secure profits and just play it safe, that's also your choice. It's all up to you guys. So do what you have to do and please play it safe. Thank you for listening. Have a great day and peace out.